way too emotionally connected to people who are not emotionally connected to us. Kamala Harris is a prime example. I hate to talk about her in such derogatory terms, but I do, and I do as often as I do because she is doing nothing for us. She has no intention on doing anything for us, and we love her collectively. I say we because I'm a part of the black race. Every time I say something bad about Kamala, somebody pops up and says, "Hey, but what about Trump? But what about Trump?" I don't care about Trump. I've never voted for Trump. Trump has never offered me anything. Trump has never acted like he is my friend. Trump didn't go to a historically black college. I mean, it's a lot of things that you can say, what about Trump? What about Kamala? But Trump isn't pretending to be black. Kamala is pretending to be black. She is not black like we're black. She is a black woman in skin tone only. That's it. Her culture is not ours. She understands our culture because she went to our colleges. She grew up in public school system with black kids. She know what black people are. She know who black people are. Did she marry one? No. That's the kind of things that you can really determine where a person's grounded, where they really come from. Celebrating Kwanzaa and all this stuff growing up. I'm black. My parents are definitely descendants of slaves, both of them, without a doubt. One's from Mississippi and one's from Arkansas. And they come to California, and we did not celebrate Kwanzaa. We didn't. I know we heard it, and Kwanzaa cards would be going around in the 70s and stuff. I remember. But we never celebrated that stuff because we didn't even understand it. My mother was Baptist, my mother's Democrat. You say something bad about a Democrat, my mother starts snapping. I ain't voting for them other MFs. And you'd be like, well, Mom, what did the other side do? Oh, no, they just against us and this. And they never really understood the difference between Democrats and Republicans. I just knew my mother hated Republicans, and she's a Democrat for life. And she voted blue up and down the ballot, no matter what, no matter who was running. If she didn't know who they were, she looked to see if they were a Democrat, and she voted for them. And that's what we need to stop doing. It's ignorant. A lot of black people who are arguing and fussing with each other over who they voting for or who they supporting need to stop. Need to support each other first, and then together you can find a candidate that will facilitate what we're trying to get to. But if you can't even agree with each other, because some people are more comfortable, we're all over the place. Some black people are so comfortable that they don't want to argue and they don't want to fight and they don't want to ruffle any feathers because they're cool where they are. And some of them are billionaires and they don't want to ruffle a feather, and they're in a position where they can. So if the people with a whole lot of money aren't willing to ruffle no feathers or shake up anything or rock a boat, then what are the poor people supposed to do? And in most cases, the poor people that do rock the boat is because they have nothing else that they can do. And I consider breaking the law rocking the boat because you have no other way or no other means. You got to do what you got to do. But you can't be siding with the other side just because they look like you. Kamala is a prosecutor. Black people do not support prosecutors because we know what prosecutors do to us and have done to us. Anybody who's siding with her and thinking that she's going to take this prosecutorial prowess and attack Donald Trump with it, you're wrong. You'll receive more of that prosecutorial prowess than Donald Trump will. So it's very important that you pay attention to that kind of stuff and don't just fall for the okey doke. I mean, we black people, we supposed to have game. You go out in the streets, ain't nobody gonna take your money from you or trick you out of anything or fool your kids. But we go into politics and we just like the dumbest, just infants. We have no understanding of the way this stuff works, and we need to get a foundational understanding of how politics work and what our place is in politics because we're trying to participate in a system and argue over policies and ideas that don't have anything to do with us. Everything that we argue and fuss and fight over has to do with black people first. And then once we get our legs up there where they're supposed to be, then we can start to worry about some of the other things that the rest of the country is concerned about. But until our standard of living, our level of education and understanding and politics is raised, there's nothing we can do. But just be fighting with each other. And most of the fights you get into it with will be with black people because they're the ones who are in disarray and have no idea what they're talking about half the time because most people like Kamala Harris because she's black. And beyond that, there's no, if she turned white, their support would drop. So that means that there's not a whole lot there. There has to be another reason. She has to have a platform that you believe in and that you can get behind and that you can tell other people about. And then they'll go, oh, wow, I didn't know that. Don't just say she's black. I think we all noticed that. But like I said, she's not a descendant of slaves. She may be more on the order of a colonizer as far as ancestry and her roots. But with that, guys, let's just educate ourselves on the politics. Don't start arguing with family and friends when you really don't know what you're arguing about. Go in depth. Take information to your friends and family about Kamala Harris and the positive things that she's done for black people or some of the positive things that she's planning on doing and things that we really are concerned about. She doesn't get to pick what we want. We don't care about abortions like she cares about abortions. We don't care about child mortality like we care about jobs and eating and employment and wealth. Because if we can get those things, we can take care of those other things on our own. The only reason we have child mortality and healthcare problems in this country as a people is because we're black. If we weren't black or if we weren't poor, those problems wouldn't exist. So she's trying to take care of problems that are going to never go away until our economic situation changes. So that to me is just window dressing and a way to fool you into believing she's fighting for you. And I don't want to be fooled into believing she's fighting for us. You guys, we got to do better. Learn your politics, support Kamala Harris, but make sure you press her to support you as well. You can't support someone who doesn't support you. That doesn't work out in a relationship. And if this relationship is going to be solid, and we're going to push her across the finish line, it's embarrassing for her to do that and then do nothing for us. Because she's got a whole long list of things she's going to do for those donors. And the table ain't standing with just the donors' legs and the white people's legs. There's one of those legs is black people under it. And if we walk away, the table falls. She needs us. See you on the next.